What you are looking at is a digital audio player. This is no ordinary player. This player plays books on digital cartridges. Now, this is what the ordinary person would see on their computer, and this is what I see. You know, you can see that I had to zoom in quite a bit. I cannot see well enough to read small print without getting close enough to where my back would be in a really unusual position. Basically, I wouldn't be straight up. And on top of that, I would be straining my only seeing eye. My vision is 2100 in the left eye. My right eye is zip. And the procedure has left my condition stable, but at the same time delicate, to get my vision back. And I really don't want to go into details because the last several times I ran over the video limit, and I don't want to gross anybody out. So the new player, and I should elaborate. Go back to my video C-1 Cassette Book Machine. You will get an idea of what I mean when I say this is a new player. Bluetech7753 has one of these, and he's got 2 videos up on this player. So they play USB cartridges, and really all this is a standard flash memory stick in a very customized way. And the reason is because the majority of NLS patrons are older folks who, you know, who need something as simple as you could possibly make it. This doesn't get any simpler, you know. You got your volume here, sleep, reverse play, forward, power, tone, and speed. Now, what about those of us who are more tech savvy, the younger generation? Well, they've got a more advanced player that allows for more structured navigation, because this can also read, in addition to RFB, in addition to the NLS, which is the National Library Service for the Blind, which provides the player and these cartridges free of charge to people who qualify. They also, in addition to the NLS books, this can also play RFB&D books. Now, how can we possibly get this for free? Because it looks like it's rather expensive, right? The catch is this remains property of the federal government. As long as we're using the system, we can basically keep this until the day we die. But as soon as we kick the bucket, our remaining descendants have no choice but to send the player back. Okay? So this remains property of the federal government. So if we stop using the service, or if we, for some reason, you know, leave this earth unexpectedly, we have no choice but to return. We or our relatives, I should say, have no choice but to return the player. So that's the successor to the C-1 Cassette Book Machine. And again, Bluetech has a video up, Bluetech7753. I'm going to be getting one, like I said, that has more buttons on here for more structured navigation for RFB&D books. For the past year, I've been using this. This looks like it's a much better deal, isn't it? This looks like, you know, it does the same thing. It plays the NLS books. It plays the RFB&D books. What are the advantages? The advantages are this has a more powerful speaker, and this has better battery life by approximately 20 hours. Okay? This has 20 hours better battery life because the battery in this thing is ginormous. Okay? It takes up the majority of the unit. This is good for a portable solution. Maximum battery life, 15 hours. Okay? This can also do recordings. And the recordings are very good, but at the same time they also drain a fair amount of battery power. A 10-minute recording at 256 kilobits per second without any, like full stereo, 256 kilobits per second. I believe it drained about 10 to 15% of the battery, and that's just in 10 minutes. Now, I could be wrong. I didn't think to check the battery percentage before I started recording on the test recording I used, but that's beside the point. If I'm going to be doing a full class length recording whether be it now or later in grad school or during my student teaching. I'm going to need every single juice, every single ounce of juice this thing has, okay? And the reason I should clarify in case I didn't already, I sent this back because of a hardware defect, and I'm hoping to get the white one as a return unit, and I explained to them why, because I can see white text on black better, and it would help to stand out better from my other black things like my phone and my iPod and such. We'll see what they say. So I'm waiting to get this back, and I've put in a request for this. The reason is because if I should have any further problems with this, right now I do not have a player to play any of my books. The program is set up in such a way that nobody, but nobody, with the exception of the patrons, can read these books, period. Otherwise they would be violating copyright. So they needed to come up with a format in which no other player in the world, with the exception of the players that are built for these files, could read them. The NLS doesn't have any software packages, and they don't plan to have them, at least not that I know of. I could ask, but, you know. So, right now I'm without a player to play any of these books, and I'm actually in the middle of a few. I'm in the middle of Star Trek, Odyssey, and I'm in the middle of When Will Jesus Bring the Pork Chops by George Carlin. Somebody recommended it to me, so I figured why not. Anyway, so I was in the middle of those two books, so you can imagine, you know, good reading, you have to skip out for a week or two. But what if you have major schoolwork that has to be done, and the NLS has the book that you need, and you're reading, and all of a sudden your player goes down the tube? Okay? This is going to serve as a backup in case that should happen. Okay? This player, it runs Linux, and it's a very proprietary system. Now, Linux is a very stable operating system. It's embedded into the hardware. So the odds of this crashing really are about zip. Now, I'm not saying that it can't crash. I'm saying the odds of it crashing are about zip, based on the history of Linux being extremely reliable. This, on the other hand, runs Windows CE version 5. And in case anybody's wondering, I actually stuck my nose in the battery compartment and was able to read that little tag. It was very hard to make out, but I did make out CE 5.0. It had to be Windows. So this thing runs Windows, and I think it was a hardware bug, but for the longest time I thought it was a software bug. Windows in general has been unstable as a whole. I'm not saying that there haven't been areas where it has been stable. Suffice it to say, I'm a little nervous because now that I know that this runs Windows, I don't want to take a chance of it conking out on me again and not having a facility with which to read my books. So again, I'm going to get this as a backup, and, you know, in case I want to save the battery power, or if I just want a better listening experience, because I'm not saying the listening experience with the Pocket's not good, but, you know, the speaker can only do so much, and this has a much more powerful speaker for a much more enriching experience with books like Harry Potter and so forth, and you don't have to be tied to earbuds. So this is going to be a backup. So I'm thinking about I'm going to get this replaced. I hope they give me the white one, but I'm not going to complain if I get another black one. And I'm going to go ahead and receive this hopefully soon. I've already put in a request to the NLS for one. And the one that I'm going to have is going to have a few extra buttons along the top, like I said. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day. Check out BlueTech7753 for more information on this particular player here.